effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins. McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Ministre qui a une responsabilité pour santé qui a offert un service neuf en bas.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in once again for The Real Issues, our program which airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM, the radio station that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 for the North and 91.5 for the South. Simulcasting on MBC Television, Channel 120 Flow Cable TV service. We are on the Facebook Live, streaming live on YouTube as well. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. So far, today is the 3rd already. Yes, the 3rd day of the month of December, the very last month of the year 2024. What are you doing? What are your preparations? What are your stockpiles and, everything for the Christmas season? Does it look like it's going to be one of the nicer Christmas seasons that you've had? Or, are you thinking of other things? I think this is one time when we should relax, enjoy ourselves, do right by ourselves and right by others, and do your utmost not to let Christmas or any time at all find you on a bed in a hospital at a doctor with a broken this and that and so on. Take as good care of yourself as you can. There's some things we have no control over, and no way that we can prevent and foresee and prepare for every single mishap and every single, if it's unforeseen, you're going to prepare for it. But there's so many things that, while we cannot foresee exactly how they will turn out, but, we can have a reasonable idea that if we behave this way, we are likely to get this kind of result. So do that, people. This is extremely important in our country. There are some people who would want to make you believe that everything that is wrong in the country, it's somebody else, and usually the somebody else is the opposing political party. If you support the opposition, it's the government that's causing it, it's the prime minister. And I'm not saying they're not to blame and they're not responsible for things. I'm not saying that at all. I am just saying that I sense in this country, as in other places, a reluctance and unwillingness to take responsibility for ourselves, for our lives, for the things that are given into our care and over which we are expected to exercise control. We are expected to take due care. We are expected to have mature and responsible custody of whatever it is that is entrusted to us, that we find ourselves in possession of. And that includes our children, That includes our children. We can't expect them to just find their way. You leave them to find their way, somebody else is influencing them. Somebody else is having an impact on them, and they will be following that in the way they speak, in the language, in the behavior. You, the parent, who I am sure has their good at heart, more than anybody else, you should take responsibility for them, for nurturing them, for training them, for giving them, how we call it, brought up and manners and good upbringing and good rearing and culture. These are the kinds of things, that we need to have. I was appalled, on Monjiro Street just, when was it? Today is Tuesday. It would have had to be Friday. That was the day where everything was snarled up. I watched a young lady. I'm coming down from the side where Wet and Coal Express, on the other side there's a bus stand there, and she's crossing from by SNS to go across the road, maybe, to go to the Massey that's on the other side, and she has a soft drink, plastic bottle in her hand. I could tell it was Coke. I can't tell you whether it was the black covered one, which is the diet one, sugar-free one, or the red one. And the young lady is crossing, and as soon as she sets her foot off the sidewalk into the road, she drops the bottle right in the drain there. And I'm saying about town, there may not be one on every corner, but there's no shortage of garbage bins that we can drop things in. And I looked across at her and I said, I felt like calling her and saying, young lady, did you have to do that? The drain didn't have water. It was not something that it would have been filthy. I said, you really should come. I thought of telling her that, but then I said, no. There must be dozens of other people who saw us do it before me, before my mind processed what is happening. Why aren't they calling them? Why is always me who want to come and throw myself, in front and so on? And, I just looked at her and I shook my head and I said, with so many people on Friday in town, everybody watching you, is not a chance you're stealing. People are still doing this. It just sounds so backward to me. It looks so backward. It looks so ignorant. It looks so negmamo, so uncultured. So, we come from way back. We really haven't come to terms with the fact that we are living in the 21st century. But, leave that alone. So many other things are happening in the country. And someone sends me a message. Miguel tells me, good thing you didn't. Probably you would have gotten cussed out. Yes, almost certainly. It's not probably. People waiting for you to tell them those things, for them to fall down in your skin, and sometimes it's not just getting cussed out. Sometimes you get threatened. You don't know who have scissors and who have whatever in their bag that they're waiting, who have their own, little stress and their anger and they vex and they tense already and they're waiting for somebody, for them to dump on and so on. So I just said leave that alone, In our country, it's not ignorance or education or lack of awareness, that's causing us to do those things. There is no shortage of awareness in those things. But before I go any further, I got a message that one of the accidents that we had on the weekend, Bexon, whichever other place and so on, that one of the persons injured was a medical practitioner. I saw they had the name Dr. Kidmador. And, my mind just flicked a few, when was it? It wasn't last week, it must have been a week before that I hosted, the last time I hosted Zafenu. And I think it was for Jaim, and Jaim had already booked for this doctor to come in. I believe if he's not the president of the St. Lucia Hypertensive and Diabetic and Hypertensive Association, he's an ex-president, but he works very closely with them. And we had such a nice program, Dr. Daw. Yes, I learned so much from him. I mean, I hope it isn't true, but if it is, then please join me in wishing Dr. Kidmador a speedy and complete recovery. I hope his injuries or whatever, were not too grave, were not too severe, and that, he's going to make a full return to his feet, or whatever the nature of, the accident and what he suffered in it. I'm so sorry to hear that, as indeed I'm sorry to hear everybody. People have never been in I've been in a couple of accidents, I mean, one of them left me like I never I was never the same again after it. Vehicle overturned, but I wasn't the driver, in the body lil and so on. Brakes gave way, and it was really something. To this day I can see the driver fighting to regain control of the vehicle, and people starting to scream, etc. And next thing I just knew I was upside down and crawling on all fours to get out of the vehicle, the tall grass that I saw in a drain. But I got a few little bangs here and there and so on, broken, how they call that, clavicle or whatever, bone inside my shoulder, the cartilage of my head torn, the left eye for a long time afterwards, you would see stars. But, over time it leveled itself compared to what happened to other people and so on. I considered it to be nothing, little minor little dings of an animal that suddenly breaks free of its tether, and you have to take evasive action, and you hit it, and in doing so, my mirror flew, and a whole lot of little things that I look on. I look at people maimed, I look at people infirm, dismembered, they lost a leg, all kinds of things. They have to go through therapy. Sometimes they were not the drivers, I know a lady who used to work at one of the local pharmacies, and pretty lady, nice person in ways and all. And it's like, this lady, a vehicle hit her, and it was to see her afterwards. She just never got back. I saw her very recently passing there, and it looks like over time, because she would speak, and like she used to be far, like she's lost, like she's not all there. And she was able to keep a coherent conversation with me, something I had not been able to keep with her when I met her and so on. And I just wonder why those of us who are able-bodied, who have all our parts, who have all our pieces, who have all our limbs, who have our eyes and all our teeth and so on, why we want to be doing the things there to make us a gel sardin, to make us a one-eyed jack, to make us a, the names that we call our society, you walk in crooked, in no time in the little community, especially the rural one, somebody will start calling you Koshi, and the name will just stick and so on, and you impaired, and you differently abled, you less abled and so on than you were, you need help moving around. I don't know why we love this kind of thing like that when we know where it will end up and etc. So let's hope we can turn a corner on that, and maybe do a little better. It's not for anybody we're doing it. It's for ourselves, really. Good afternoon to the man Skinny. Nice to see you. Thanks for the little shout out. Hope everything is okay with you. In fact, I saw your family up doing their thing late last night and early this morning. You know, setting up apart from their usual place at the corner of Jeremy Street. On the market, you also have an outfit there as well, serving early morning breakfast and the bakes and the cocoa tea and, you know, a whole lot of stuff, the chicken as always. So, keep up the good work, Skinny, and I have to tell you, sometimes I feel guilty, given how close you and I are and how nice you are to me, that I pass in the boulevard and I want something to eat. And I jump past your place. The other guy is my friend as well, Albert Leo, the people who have Leo's restaurant. They've moved from where they were at the corner of Manuel Street and, you know, just across from where the bus shelter is by the Massey that is in the area of the Bandag. They've moved up high up the road to Upper Bridge Street in the area of Western Union. In fact, that is the first place when I came from Antigua that I encountered Albert, you know, one of the brothers. And then he went to work with the rest, you know, at the place I'm talking about. I met him up by Western Union, and Albert moved to the boulevard where he has his food truck, food van, however we call it, just by Skinny's boulevard thing. And sometimes when I go there, I'm actually trying to duck, you know, from one, because they're both my friends, and I say, my goodness, if one see me going and patronize the other one, they might think, oh man, you know, this man abandoned me and so on. I know they don't mind, you know, funny little ways. People are so nice to you that sometimes it's difficult, but almost always when I go at a certain time in the day, Albert wins, Albert Leo, because I dissing Albert, you know, but Albert never have as many people as Skinny's place has. And sometimes when I go there and you're in a hurry, you want a quick thing to eat, Skinny always have people. Whether it's the other place by the market corner of Jeremy Street, you can go there all 1 a.m, Skinny always pack up with people. So if you're in a hurry and you're feeling a little famished and you want something, so I always take a little sneak. And I go by Albert, because Albert, to me, I mean, he gets a steady stream of people because his food is good, his cooking, his preparation, and above all, you know, like Skinny, to the hygiene is tops. That's something I watch when I go places. No matter how small you are, whatever you are, the hygiene, how people who serve handle themselves, you know, and the care that they take. So, you know, I kind of watched Skinny's wife. She was there, and I kind of, my goodness, 5 people, I'll have to wait. I don't have that amount of time. So I skip across, you know, by Albert Leo's place and so on. But, you know, folks, I'm still loyal to all of you. In this case, to both of you. You're very nice people, providing a good service, doing good work. Very professional about it, very orderly, very organized. And I think you're all among the, what we might call the microenterprises, that your fellow St. Lucians should have no fear, no hesitation in supporting, you know, in giving you that little boost up and so on, because like I said, the hygiene and all of that is just tops. There are some people who take liberties and so on, but I notice that you all don't. You know, it's so nice when you go to places and you don't see a fly. Now, you know, the fly thing I'm talking about is not that anybody can prevent a place from having flies, but you see, flies don't like cleanliness. You know, flies like the counter and the table that has a little bit of spilled soda, you know, soft drink, icy, whatever, that was not properly wiped. You know, a little bit of food, a little bit of crumbs. That's what they like. Haven't you noticed, once you properly sanitize and you wipe down the place, the chairs and so on, the fly is afraid of it. That's an inhospitable. So when I go to a place and I notice that it is so well cleaned and wiped and sanitized, that it's a rare sight, if ever, that you see a fly there and so on. And you see people, before they serve, washing their hands and putting, you know, their latex gloves on, or you notice their manicuring of their hands, how they keep their nails and so on. It means these are people who have respect, who have regard, you know, for the people that they serve, and they put their best foot forward for them. And I think generally in St. Lucia, I haven't heard of too many of the outbreaks of food poisoning and this and the things you would associate with poor hygiene in food service. I think we are doing well, and we must hold the line. You know, don't get complacent. Don't think it's okay. Sometimes when people are in a business, everybody want to come into it, because the only thing they think of, he making money. most times they do not see or get any idea of the kind of work, the kind of effort, the kind of preparation that goes into it if you are to provide a good and professional looking service. The people who do the roast and the barbecue, the serious ones, the ones who you hear people talking about them, they become the stuff of legend and so on. In terms of, I remember there was a guy by VG Beach outside the George Charles Airport a long time ago. I haven't seen him. I don't even know if he's still alive. A guy called Robbie, or maybe he's on the inside now. He took over on the inside. I mean, you talk about people like that. You know, I can remember Robbie. I remember the name. And I mean, this guy was always, apart from being a very friendly fellow, Robbie was always so very clean and careful about hygiene and those sort of things. And I really appreciate that when people show that kind of regard, that kind of respect. And if you don't have it, over time it will tell. You're going to kick your own self out of business. You know, and let me also tell you a little bit of sadness I had. You all have heard me talk very highly of Mr. Mohammed Aziz, who had a little place down on Jean-Baptiste Street where the KFC used to be there in what we would call the new CDC buildings, because they're newer than those that are along Jeremy Street by far. And you all used to hear me talk highly of him, about how this man devotes himself to providing affordable meals to people. They're not expensive. Also the hygiene, the orderliness, the respect about him and so on, and his place. You know, Mr. Aziz shut down the place. He went on vacation and he just didn't come back there. He didn't come back to Jean-Baptiste Street. He's up where in the Rodney Bay, Redway, I think is that area and so on. Yes. Rodney Heights, that area. Sorry, they kind of no, I don't think that part is Redway. I think that's Rodney Heights, opposite a supermarket that they had where they used to have Cinema 2000 there and so on. Now, I'm not giving free publicity, but I miss Mr. Aziz. Apart from the distance, just a short distance from MBC, whether I walk or drive, very close by, you know, always, again, that hospitality that he had. But for a while, Mr. Aziz had been complaining about the young men who just took to piggybacking on his business, so to speak, congregating around, smoking all the time. But it wasn't their smoking, it was that, you know, I suppose when they smoke, they spit and they wouldn't go a little distance. They would spit right there, you know, on the little gallery and so on, that, you know, people are outside, they're obstructing his you know, his storefront, the access that people have through the door. And you know, I have seen it myself. He pointed out to me and I have seen it myself. And again, the language, the cussing and the this and the that, and your mother this and I go do you that and so on, that went on there. And if you know this man, like I told you more than once, he's the father of former Senator Nurani Aziz, who's the executive director of the St. Lucia Hotel and Tourism Association. Nurani Aziz, a former teacher himself, and we heard Mr. Fenelon, Terence Fenelon, say that is his former student and so on. He was a teacher, you know, he taught my son briefly and so on. I remember when I worked at Radio St. Lucia, Sherry Ann Gillard was there, and she was proud to say, you know, that Nurani Aziz was an ex-teacher and so on. So there seems to be that kind of gentility about the family, you know, well-mannered people and so on, wife and so on, another sister who many would not know about and so on. Mr. Aziz moved from there. He's gone up to Grosile. I went there a couple of times, but, you know, I realized I couldn't keep it up. It's far out of my way now. And if the journey to Grosile, to Rodney Heights and so on was an easier thing, but the kind of traffic that you go, so I'm probably going to have to wean myself off the Country Kitchen Cafe of Mr. Mohammed Aziz and his wife Jem. Beautiful people, but they're up in Grosile now, somewhere in the area of a place called Westec, which is at the back of one of the Massey stores that you have, like I said, in the area before. So I see the place is still closed. Apparently, whoever it is, whether it's City Council or National Housing, or it's within the portfolio, I'm sure, of Honorable Richard Frederick, they haven't found a new tenant or haven't decided to lease it out, or maybe they want to do some repairs and renovations and so on. It was a nice place, but the one that we know down there, it is no more, and it is because of the behavior. You know, I mean, I have been there, and to have young men around the place cussing and threatening and all kinds of talks. And again, it's not the smoking, they spitting, they eat something, they drop the wrapper right there. He would go out and sweep and clean and mop or spray and so on, and it would be worse again. And it's just against his values and his culture. And he moved, and he said he knows, if he says anything to them, it's going to bring a confrontation, even though the matter of his being a foreigner does not arise. He's originally from Guyana, but he says, something, Shell? Almost all of them, they are in St. Lucia long before they born, Oh, yes, he's in St. Lucia a very, very, very long time. And, St. Lucian in every respect except for, the nativity and not being actually born here. But Mr. Az and his family, they are fully St. Lucian in every other respect. Anyway, folks, let's take a break. I realize that for the last couple of days, well, not for the last couple of days, today is only Tuesday, but Friday included, I had guests, these very interesting people about the book launch, Dr. Lockhart and Deja from Dominica, who came to talk about a book launch on medicinal herbs and so on that they had. It took a lot of time, so I haven't exactly been nice to you. We're opening the lines early enough for you to make your calls, and even sometimes when you have called, I've not always been able to take the call. Some have had to call me on my phone. We've struggled with a bit of technical problems, and I told you all it's not about real issues. This morning I was watching Jaquan and Coalition and a guest, and Nigel Nicholas, the station manager, was out of frame, but you could hear his voice. He was there, and at some point it froze, right? The TV froze. I don't know if you all realize that. It froze for a good little while, and I said, to the people who believe it's real issues and it's particular, I'm sure radio continue to function. Okay, usually radio goes on. It's television that sometimes we have some problems with, because television requires a lot more muscle of technology behind it and so on for it to work, because you're doing with visual, you're doing with video, you're dealing with a lot of things that have to go on to make it go, especially when it's live in real time and so on. So many things that you have to keep your eye on. So I looked and I said, many people tell me, Shelton, you always saying you don't believe. I don't believe there is any sabotage, certainly not from inside here, and I have no evidence to show that real issues is being specifically targeted. We have had challenges and so on, but I'm not one to jump into the paranoid thing, as a first response and a first conclusion. I saw it, in this very nice little session to kick off, I suppose the Christmas season and Christmas programming, etc., which Jaquan, was, and Coalition were really starring. Nigel, I suppose, coordinating things and with the technicals in the background and so on. We had it. It just went off, and you just saw the images and so on, just frozen on the screen, and then it just came back by itself. So this is the kind of way I prefer to think positive and to believe that it's being worked on. Real issues will continue after this break.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417, let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Tell you what, folks, we are coming to the end of the month, and since I began this program nearly 3 years ago, on the 1st of March, 2022, I've had 2 stints of vacation, and I've always timed them to go up to the last working day before National Day, and the reason is very simple. I've never had any controversy about it. Never had any pushback. Is that it's a practice since my Radio St. Lucia days, and maybe even before. I mean, I worked with a newspaper, and for about 2 weeks around that time, you close down, or you go into kind of a low profile. Well, profile is not a very good word, but you go into a kind of a withdrawn, retracted mode, because you want people to get out of all the grim stuff and the serious stuff and the politics and the this and the that and the arguments, and let people have a little time where they can chill, relax, and so on. So my vacation always was timed where talk shows are concerned. We begin what we call the 12 days of Christmas, which would be, around December 13th, the day before the holiday comes. You go and as soon as possible after Aso Square, you resume and so on. Now, last year, I think I came back right after Aso Square. In other words, if Aso Square was Thursday and Friday, whatever, I came back the Monday, and then I realized, hey, you got to give a little time, because people, it's not that they lost interest. They're just not really back up to their normal routines of talk shows and so on. Aso Square may be over, but there's the tradition of the Christmas New Year season going for a few days into the middle of January and so on, and people who are on vacation, and they're on a different vibe. So this year is going to be no different to what I have done on the 2 previous stints where I took vacation. I didn't take all that I think I could have taken or I'm entitled to. I don't really care about entitlements. I care about this program, people enjoying it, being part of it, and so on. So basically, to go up to December 13th National Day, encompass Christmas, encompass New Year, Aso Square, and then come back afterwards. All right, so you can say then that we're on our final 9 days before we very briefly shut shop for the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. So whatever it is you want to talk about, it's you to decide whether you consider it to be a real issue, a relevant issue, a serious issue. I won't turn you away. The numbers to call: 487-9849. That is the WhatsApp line. You can WhatsApp call us on that, especially if you're overseas. 487-9849. And you can also call us on the local landline, 4533-911. Thank you very much, Randy, who sent a message saying it's even worse when you are driving behind the vehicle and someone throws a bottle out the window and you have to try to escape it, not to hit your car. All right? Now, these are the kind of things I'm talking about. Sometimes we're asking for trouble. We're asking for fights. Because another driver on the road or passengers, you expect them to know better. You shouldn't be throwing anything out the window that constitutes litter or anything like that. You should not. The only thing you should throw is something that is life-threatening. Say a fire ignites into it and there is something that is burning, Or to save your life, you toss the thing out. You're not even thinking where it's going. Although truly at that time, that driver should hit the brakes and give people time to exit the vehicle and to get away from whatever the danger is. But let's say something instantaneous like that is happening to you. I can understand. But not a bottle that you were drinking, whatever, beer or shandy or whatever it is, you're throwing it out. A bottle is something can and has done serious damage to human beings, to, smash into somebody's, windshield or into their lights or get into somebody's face and hit them. Can you imagine you driving and somebody toss a bottle and that bottle smash, if not into your face, into the face of your spouse or one of your children or something? Can you imagine the provocation and the anger that it causes in people? And sometimes the troubles that end up in fights and stabbings and choppings and shootings and so on, they are things that start relatively minor, but when you look at the circumstances of them, you can understand the whole build-up of being infuriated in some people. Why would somebody want to do that? And yet these things are happening in our country. They're happening. A family attitude, I don't give a damn. And I don't know why people are like that. Like I said, the lines are open. 487-9849 and 4533-911 is the number to dial. Good afternoon to you, Miguel Favre, who says that Nurani Aziz taught at Viewford Comprehensive Secondary School when he, that is Miguel, was there and all the students loved him 25 years ago. Wow, I didn't think that Nurani was old to have a 25-year history of being a teacher, especially a teacher who taught an old man like Miguel, Miguel Awa, you must be a lot younger than I thought you were, Just kidding. All right, we have a call on the line, do we? Okay. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real issues.
I've passed 40 going.
Apart from what?
I've passed 40 going.
Okay, so 25 years into bad and so on. Okay. You're handling the years good.
Yes, I am, of course.
Yeah, man.
How are you, Sheldon?
I'm doing okay. I think I'm handling the years good also.
Well, yeah, I think so. Although I'm a bit disappointed in you, though.
Talk to me.
Because while some people don't know the difference between exercise and excise tax, you appear to not know the difference between collision and coalition.
Okay. Yeah.
I would you refer to as coalition.
Yes, coalition. Yeah. Okay.
Sheldon, I didn't get to listen to the rest of your show yesterday after I called, but I did recap this morning, and I heard Gaspar's contribution yesterday regarding the one-woman protest outside the registry.
All right.
Now, what is interesting is that I actually called Zafenu last week to complain about the report in itself, express my disappointment in the report itself. I mean, you're hearing Gaspar now saying he investigated, and turns out that the woman is a AWP supporter or what do you call an operative. For me, that is besides the point.
Right.
What I noted when I listened to the story, it appeared that no pertinent questions were asked to the woman. I mean, if I approach a story like that, you get the background from the beginning. How did we get to where we are now? And ask, what were you told by the registry and everything. But even with that said, I was waiting for the part where they said, they contacted the registry, to try to get some information about the woman's plight. Nothing like that. So it was just a story of a woman just complaining, not really giving any background to the story. So it's just interesting now that Gaspar would say that yesterday when I had my own concerns about that report, and I think other people listened to it, which had that concern, because to me there was a lot missing. I'm listening to ladies speaking, I'm asking questions myself, waiting to hear them answered, but nothing was answered.
Man, 13 years is a really long time, you know, if she's telling the truth, you know. That is
but it's hard to believe, Shelton, that a government agency would have a woman walking back and forth for 13 years, not give her any guidance or anything like that.
Honestly, because a lot of people I have found, Miguel, it's simply a case where they don't know where to turn to or to go to or to point there. And all it needs is for some, and it happens a lot with programs like this. People consider that you probably know things, and then they come to you, they want you to help them with something. And it's a very simple thing of telling them you should go there. If you don't know, you pick up the phone, you make a call, and just tell them go there, which person to ask for, and their problems get solved so quickly and so easily. And it doesn't matter of Munbas have got to you just have to help them to point them where to put their head, you know. And you know,
but the reporters now are looking for any story so they can meet their deadline and just put it out there without any due diligence, any investigation, you know, applying any common sense to their report.
Yeah.
So that's just why I wanted to say today, because I listened to Gaspar this morning regarding that, and it really struck me because at the point of listening to that story, it made no sense to me at all. There were lots of missing pieces.
Okay, can you tell us a bit about the Kakabef and the Rubis and the Sol fuel farm and all of that?
Well, as you will know, I cannot give you the specific details right now because that was 3 years ago, as you'd recall. Okay. But I remember that report was done on July 7th, 2021, and I reported on, as you can see, I was wearing a bow tie. I was actually catching my kicks on knob at that time, so I wore a bow tie that day.
Yeah.
But apparently, I believe there was an agreement already made with the HIA extension. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a whole new changes to the HIA project once Chastney and them came in.
Right.
And with the extension, I believe Rubis was the one who was awarded the fuel farm.
Mm-hmm.
And don't quote me directly, either it was awarded to them or whether there would be some sharing of any properties. I'm not, but I believe it was awarded to them. And by some, I use the term miracle loosely, by some miracle, Saul ends up having control, having the lease for that farm.
So it would appear somebody did some double dealing.
yes. So Rubis filed an injunction against LASPA, and that was where that was left. I think that was the last I knew about it because, of course, you know, right afterwards the election and there were a lot of changes.
Yes.
And stuff. But I remember that when in fact, NBC was the only media house who had that story. Mm-hmm. You know, unfortunately, we don't have our archived information, our archived reports. But then that's where it started. Mm-hmm. I guess it appears that Rubis was successful with whatever legal action that they took, and SLASPA would have had to have compensated them. Mm-hmm. Now, with the whole issue of the Kakabef, listen, that Kakabef thing was a done deal. The moment that video you saw of Guy Joseph and Alan Chastney at the drag wars, that whole thing with the Kakabef was a done deal by that time already. Remember, DSH was already signed to.
And that's
also said Joaquin was supposed to help them with the airport reconstruction or something like that.
Exactly. Yes. And you know the thing about it is, whether we consider that we've been dealt a bad hand as the people, as the public, on a standpoint of pure legality, the motorsport and motocross and horse racing and, you know, people and so on, they have to understand that they did not own it. They never owned it. It was never does.
Exactly.
They never had any formal lease or whatever. Now, the sad thing about when you have agencies like SLASPA and Invest St. Lucia, etc., in whom the ownership and the control of those pieces of real estate, of lands and so on, is vested in them, my friend, they are the controlling agencies and authorities, etc. But by virtue of the fact that they are state agencies, ultimately governments can
call a shot.
Exactly.
The boards are all appointed by the government of the day.
Governments can maneuver and manipulate things and so on, and who they make the chairman and who are the members of the board and who
the DC, Clem Bob and the DC was a classic example.
Exactly. And I mean, I haven't seen him for a while, but I really, for a little while, pitied my friend Keegan Cox. You know that.
Keegan, yeah.
You know, I really pitied my friend Keegan Cox because they probably knew from day one that they wanted to get him out of there. But what they do was put him in some very disadvantageous, invidious, unfair positions that he has to choose and he has to make decisions.
Constructive dismissal.
Exactly, to do all kinds of things.
They're not shy about it,
Yeah.
They're not bashful about it. They have their motives and they will make it clear to you.
Exactly.
Whether through direct words or their actions.
Yes, to see if they can drive a wedge between this person and that person and this kind of thing. So, I don't know, how do you think this thing is likely to be resolved, or you believe sensibly it can be resolved?
Well, we have a responsible government, and I do know it's not only now. In fact, it was only a month ago somebody called me because he figured out and he figured I was close enough to the government. He had heard that the Kakabef was no longer being used, no longer be used for the drug wars. So I called somewhere I used to find out, and they let me know exactly what was happening with Slasper and Invest, I believe, finally taking over that portion of the property. But we do know, we do not other sites were being sourced. Alan Chastney said that they were already drawing the plans, which was nonsense. All they did was say they identified somewhere in Denry. And that was it. There's nothing done after that. I believe Kenson, from last I spoke with Kenson, and I think he did make those pronouncements that they have been working with the Motorsports Association. Because this government has been taking alternative sports very seriously. We started the success of the racing last year. So I have no doubt in my mind that they will. It may be too late to reverse what's happened, or it may not be. But I have no doubt in my mind that the government, led by the Honorable Philip J. Pierre and Kenson Casimir as Sports Minister, and Dr. Ernestille's responsibility for investing in Russia, will see to it that the alternative sports fraternity get at least something they can call home, whether it be temporary until they get a permanent home, but they will get one. I'm confident.
Yes. I'm thinking, Miguel, a lot that I wonder if we have a confidence problem in St. Lucia, that we could not see the many possibilities and opportunities that this old American base and the tarmac that they had laid down that endured so long, the different things we could have done with it, investment we could have made in motor racing, even to Formula One, aspirations and so on, that we could have had that we could have had a sensible investment in horse racing, that we can in drag racing, in thoroughbred, in local, which we had a time, the local.
Yes, we did. Listen, I spent time in Beaufort watching racing, racing in that area.
Exactly, we could have had all those things and so on. Maybe we could even have aspired to have flight-based FBO operations and so on, using that area. Maybe even a flight training school. You understand? Where even a small planes, crop duster size and so on, that people can get into aviation and so on. Those who have pilot aspirations to them. The funny thing is, I come from Little Antigua, and it's like they have this can-do mentality about them that everything they can go after it, and including having a university which they went through all of it and they got it in the end and so on. They have this, we small but we aiming big, and I just find in St. Lucia, not that it is lacking, but to me the forces who believe that our only potential is to work in a supermarket that they own, or in a hotel that they bring in somebody to.
But let's not say our people don't drink big, because remember the Pearl of the Caribbean and the 23 islands, and making St. Lucia before the mecca for gambling and touristic activity.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, bro, let me hold up the line.
I guess so. I heard Minister Kazimi saying, look, the people who come in and talking about this, they left no plans. They said they were well advanced in their plans. He can't find any plans. And he said there are no architectural drawings, no architectural plans. I said, Minister Kazimi, maybe he's setting his expectations too high. They may not be architectural drawings and so on, but they might have been architectural works, because maybe he needed to look, for the right thing. Don't go look for plans and drawings, Minister Kazimi. Try to dig a little deeper, and maybe he might have to take a trip to Beaufort into a structure that is, commonly referred to as the box, and strip it, tear it apart from top to bottom, from length and width and breadth and all, and maybe you'll find some architectural works inside there.
Yeah, maybe. maybe Shasni can use the box for indoor horse racing.
Yeah. Okay, Miguel. Thank you very much.
Brother, have a good one.
Yeah. All right. 4879849, the WhatsApp number that you can call us on. And I think we have a caller on the line. All right. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shelton Daniels.
How are you doing, sir? There's no S at the end. Yeah.
Oh, Shelton Daniel. Okay.
Yeah,
but anyway, I've been listening to your program. Very interested program, and I've been listening for a couple of months now.
Yes.
But I have an issue. Okay, let me identify myself. I'm Grenadian. All right, I live in the United States.
You're Grenadian?
And Grenadian.
Okay.
Oh, and we love your Prime Minister, man. That's my boy.
Okay.
Yeah, last weekend, the opposition leader from St. Lucia was in Grenada. And then he made a statement which I take very personal. He made a statement, he was talking about, he was invited by the opposition leader, Kit Mitchell, party, they had 40th anniversary. And he made a statement concerning about incompetence. And he was referring to our beloved Prime Minister, and I take hold with it. Because and if he was invited to an event, and then come in and disrespect our Prime Minister, we take a big thing about it. You understand?
Yes, he does. He does that. He does that. It seems everywhere he goes.
I see this guy as a loser. I will call him the opposition leader of pit latrine because one of the reasons I will say that, because I see the program that Philip JP is bringing into St. Lucia, because we have a program they call the WASH, where we're building over like toilets and all this thing for poor people, Grenadians, all right? And I realize like you guys been doing the same thing too. So if he was that great, I want to know how comes that Philip JP just come on the scene and could win 13 seats and he only won 4. You understand?
Who won 4?
But not them win 4 because I was looking at it.
No, there's 17 seats. The St. Lucia Labour Party won 13 straight. And there's one of the ministers who used to be with Shasney who broke away and ran as an independent. He won his seat. And there's another minister who used to be in the same party as Shasney. But the moment Shasney became leader, he said that's not for him. He quit, he sat out one election and he came back again and he won as an independent. So we have 13 Labour Party, Philip JP's party, 2 independents who have since joined to form a coalition with the Labour Party of Philip JP. They're sitting as ministers. So it's only the opposition, Alan Shasney, and one other guy called Bradley Felix who are there. So it's the opposition is 2. Everybody else is with and supporting the government.
Oh, wonderful.
So Shasney was more than decimated.
Yeah, exactly. Because he coming about he want to be part of the rescue team for Grenada. And I was like, wait a minute. This guy is a big failure in St. Lucia talking about to rescue Grenada.
Exactly what Kif Rowley told him, in Trinidad. He went to Trinidad talking a whole lot of things like he want to give Rowley advice about how to deal with this and crime and that. And Rowley said, look at this guy, look at this guy. They absolutely flattened him in St. Lucia. He could barely hold on to 2 seats. And he wants to come here and to lecture me. And you know how Rowley ended his statement? He said, no, thanks, Tropical Trump.
But I'm going to tell you guys, I'll send it to St. Lucia. You guys get a good Prime Minister. We in Grenada, we love him. And we have his full support. And we know that he loves the people of Grenada too. And you guys try and do the best that you could do with this man. This man have the heart for St. Lucia. You know what I mean? And we always go to support him. And you're calling him honorable. No, he's the most honorable. You understand? He deserves that. And I fully support him. And Shelton Daniels, I listen to the program. You're such a great guy. I like the way you explain things. And that's the reason I stuck to you. And that's my first call to you. And you'll be hearing more from me.
Absolutely. You'll be welcome, my friend.
And let me tell you something. One of my best friends is from St. Lucia.
Tell me.
Yeah, one of my best friends is from St. Lucia. One of the days I'll visit St. Lucia and I would like to meet with you, my brother.
Okay, absolutely.
You take care. Have a blessed rest of the week and for the season too. And tell this guy He is the opposition leader of Pete Latchin and Philip JP are making a big difference in St. Lucian life.
Do you know what he said to Keith Mitchell, and Keith Mitchell could only laugh? He said, what patrimony are they talking about? Your patrimony is your credit rating. That's what your patrimony is. And Keith Mitchell could not stop laughing, but of course it's his friend. He didn't want to openly ridicule him, but the laughter said it all. The guy does not even understand the concept, much less an illustration or example of patrimony. It's your credit rating. That's what your patrimony is.
But Shelton, let me say something quick before I go. If you realize the New National Party is a failed party in Grenada. 23 years, they haven't done nothing. Look at among this Prime Minister, most Honorable Dickon Mitchell come and achieve within 2.5 years. You understand? This reminds us of the revolution. That's the reason why we look up to this guy. He bring back a sense of Maurice Bishop. Remember Maurice Bishop?
Of course.
He bring back that. And look at the amount of things they're doing for the youths now. Look at the amount of programs and all these things that he's implementing. You know, this guy heart is for Grenada. And that's why we behind him 100%. And then we're going to have him there for more than 20 years.
And not only that,
Right now, the NNP is going through a convention on the 15th. And the big division, look at the opposition leader, right? He took this guy from NDCI, pulled him into his party, and every meeting they bashing him.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. You know, because the guy have the vote to take him out, and I believe that Peter David will take him out. Okay. Anyway, that's great politics. We talk later, my brother. I love you.
Thank you very much. All the best to you, my bro. All right. If we don't have a caller on the line presently, we have a caller? All right, let's take the commercial break because it's 1:30 already, and we'll be right back to continue taking calls. And I want to read some of the messages and to greet some of the people who are on the Facebook Live.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, Repairs, rebuild. The power to heal. The future of pain relief.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being with The Real Issues. Today, the 3rd of December, and I think we have a caller waiting. Okay, good afternoon. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Spirited or something.
You what?
He may be very spirited or something. Drivers on the road, bear caution that this man is driving in the middle of the road. When he sees other vehicles coming, he goes to the side, but then the man is basically in the middle of the road. You understand? Now, let me tell you, I don't know if you're hearing all the noise in my background, but here's this. Why raise a stink over the Kakabeth issue?
Why what?
You barely hearing me.
I'm hearing you, but
Why raise a sting over the Kakabeth issue is the title for another show today.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you the sentimental value of the Kakabeth to people like me in Beaufort. I'm not a horse race fan. I'm not a car race fan. But I grew up knowing of the Molineros and the Jameses and those people who were into car racing during that time. I was a little girl. I used to cross the airport as well.
Yes.
To go and buy milk for my mother. Okay? That place there is of sentimental value, and whatever can be done, must be done, has to be done to save the Kakabeth for the young people who are passionate about car racing. The Kakabeth is so sentimental to be cautious that after, I think it was Tropical Storm Debbie, when it damaged the road, the Kakabeth which is used, right? Another side by Sandy Beach there, that main Kakabeth, Dr. Anthony repaired it. He had it repaired because he knows how much the Kakabeth, that road, the concrete road, means to us in Beaufort. Car racing means a lot to young people of Beaufort. Horse racing means a lot to the young people of Beaufort. Now that it was signed leased over by Alan Chasney, why we just think about it? Well, we Beaufortians matter. We bring in the most money to slash fund investment leisure. We matter, and our issues matter. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, she began by talking about somebody driving in the middle of the road. Don't be surprised if somebody on the phone, you know. So then they realize something, they get their wits back to them. They go in the proper position, and then they go right back on the phone and so on. Some people are actually texting while they drive, you know. I don't mean if somebody glances at their phone, it's bad enough, but some people are trying to text while they drive. I don't know what people have about just pulling up for a couple of seconds and so on to handle a call or something like that. And the other thing, of course, you never know how much rum they have in their head, you know, at that point. Anyway, we have another caller on the line. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Alan Chasney and Guy Joseph, I believe, is the two most dishonest politicians ever in the history of this country. When persons could use lies and deceit to deceive people to work their way into authority, it is clear that they does not have the interests of the people at heart, but their personal interests. Had they had the interests of the people at heart, they would tell them the truth. Because that is exactly why these guys never reveal the assets to the Integrity Commission. Because they knew their intention. And now they are talking about inflation, the rise of goods and services. While he was in power, they told him to remove VAT on certain goods to help the poor. He said, which poor that is helping everybody buy the same goods? You know?
Right.
There were 178 goods that were VAT exempted under the Labour administration. He removed the exemption, so we end up paying more VAT. All the foods that were VAT exempted, we had to be paying 12.5% on these goods.
Okay.
And when a government can leave office and you cannot find the digital and documentary footprints on most of the financial transactions, it is clear that these people are dishonest and not worthy to be trusted.
Not only documents and firm drives, there is something called the logbox. Nobody can find the logbox or the key for it, you know?
Yeah.
They were supposed to have been putting money in a certain
all
logbox.
They want is the keys to our treasury to do as they please with our money. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Eusebia Jean-Baptiste and Sylvia Cadas. Sylvia says it is internet issues with both Flow and Digicel, and I think she's referring to the problems that, you know, the media houses have been having. In fact, it isn't too long ago that I have a routine in the evening that I listen to HTS at 7, MBC at 7:30. Well, since before the change to the winter time where the clocks got pushed back, you know, by an hour, I used to listen to NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt and so on. And then for a couple of nights, I couldn't get HTS. I thought maybe it was a radio thing. I rushed and went to look at the cable, and the screen was blank. I think they had for a couple of days, not very, very long, but they had, you know, so I'm saying other media houses, they get the little technical glitches from time to time. And I'm sure if they could have done something to resolve it right on the spot, they would have done so. All right. So we have another call on the line. Hi. All right. The only thing I find, you know, for modern media and so on, is this whole matter of the modulation. I can understand up to now, you put your TV on, you watching news, a commercial break comes on, you go to the bathroom or whatever it is and so on, or to get some, and the next thing you know, the volume just goes way, way, way above what it was when the presenter was reading the news. And it's not only, it's happening with different stations and so on. And to me, not in the 21st century should we be finding simple modulation to be so challenging. People in times past, technicians who didn't have as much of the sophistication of technology and equipment and what that we have now, you know, it was a cakewalk for them. You know, walk in the park, it was nothing all that challenging or difficult and so on. But now, I don't know, it seems so challenging. Sometimes you wonder if you're in the same house. Neighbors, as I told you, have called me telling me lower your TV, and I told them it's not me, the TV was okay. It's the moment the commercial break comes and everything gone off. We have a caller? Or did I lose that one too? Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Hello. Hi, Sheldon. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Well, Sheldon, I have one issue, bro. Place need clean up, Sheldon.
How's that?
I heard visitors complain how filthy the place is, man. I heard the visitors said, how is a beautiful country like this and there's so much garbage? And Sheldon, I felt ashamed. Seriously, man. I know it's not the government who keep in place dirty, because I really talk about some young girl who threw the bottle in the drain.
Well-dressed young lady. That's the thing, you know. It's not any kind of razzle. It's not any kind of razzle-looking woman, you know. Woman dressed well and so on. I'm saying, but wait. To me, you would expect somebody who presents like that, who has that kind of appearance and that they have a greater degree of self-respect about them. It's not about, let's forget about being an environmental fanatic, but to me, simple self-respect. You don't want to be doing that, much less to be seen doing it, you know. But go ahead.
Hey, bro. Children, why are we, some of us, so much malpops, Papa?
I don't know.
They don't understand we destroy our own country when you do that, act like this.
Yeah.
I don't understand the mentality of these people, man. I don't understand it. But Sheldon, one thing, bro.
Yeah.
You know that all the bus stops, there's not one garbage bin there, bro. When the folks come there, most of them come there, you know what they do, Sheldon? Just throw it on the ground. Like like the ground is a garbage bin, man. At least they need to put some garbage bins somewhere around the roads that folks could throw the garbage in. And St. Lucian, stop being malposed, bro. Anyway, Shelton, keep up the good work, man. But I hope somebody's listening and clean the place up because it doesn't look good for us.
All right.
When a visitor could see that St. Lucia is filthy.
Thank you very much.
All right, bro. Take care, man.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, Maria Bonaparte and Jude Pokes Harlow, Bernice Ariste, and Magdalene Daniel. Thank you so much for being part of the Facebook Live. We have a caller on the line, I think. Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon, and how are you?
I'm doing okay, and you?
All right. Some time ago, I gave you message for the PM, and I don't think he heard me. I am upset and very upset. Nice boys don't come into politics. Over 2 years, Shasni and his cabals should be in jail. They will not be talking garbage. They're talking now. I think I'm tired. Tell Mr. Pierre, please, put his foot down and do something and stop these guys from just beating them up everywhere. Guy Joseph Lekapali, this I Jolly Cowboy Chim, Dio behave for you. Put them in jail. Make them answer some questions. Saki John Lager, Saki Patron. Fair yo pay. Ekpe yo pale. Meche yo la jol. Itale. Molas. Masa poya ko. Molas tan yo pale.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. All right, Conrad, good afternoon to you. Merle Goddard, thanks for letting me know that Robbie, who I was referring to as a vendor at the VG Beach outside the George Charles Airport, that he died a few years ago. It's many years, I suppose, the time that I spent out of St. Lucia.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Shelton.
Yeah.
Last night they had a young guy on a UWP team talking about how the country is not good, whatever. So I call and I told him, but why Shasura coming out and say how he said the Kakabet? Come out and say, the boy say how that will be in the news media. I said, but Shasura have to come out and say he said the Kakabet and stop lying for St. Lucian because we don't want him and he will never get back. All of them have to stay back, not again, because we're tired of them. And my Prime Minister, big up, and my MP, Kenson Kazime, all the way 2026.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good afternoon, Esther Joseph, who says it's crazy on the road. Every day there is an accident, sometimes fatal. And I think, I read some statistics that the police are saying there have been about 1,200 accidents, these collisions involving vehicle collisions on the road and so on. I mean, if there is 1,200 and there are 12 months in the year, what that means? At the very least, 100 collisions, vehicular collisions on the road. Hi, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Good afternoon to you.
Sheldon.
Yes.
Jay, the opposition is talking about the ban and plan. As soon as they get in power, they're going to take it. But he never say he sell the Kakabef. So I want him to come out now and say he sell the Kakabef. Because he waiting for him to get in power to take the other piece of land behind Frederick, and all that dirty works inside there, they're not saying it. We want the Kakabef back. We're going to get it back, and we want it back. I want it for my grandchildren to go and raise their car. Tell Shasta and Tusha don't belong to Ian, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. All right. Someone said, if my memory serves me well, that was the same lady, that's the one they're talking about, who was protesting outside the registry, who was protesting about the opening of St. Jude. So that's a habit, always a one-woman protest. And it's not just a matter of being a one-woman protest, it's who's putting her up to it. You know who's putting them up to it. We know even a policeman, retired but serving as a reserve, I think was letting himself get drawn into this kind of thing. Protesting outside St. Jude, the immediate reopening of St. Jude. You all were there, you all didn't achieve immediate reopening. So if that is the same lady who was there with placard outside the stadium protesting about St. Jude, and she's the one doing that, then she's a serial protester. And, maybe somebody's putting her up to it, somebody's giving her a little change or whatever, so she can, I don't know, I cannot say for a fact. And Bernie Seristet says to Camilla Jean, who made the comment, that you are correct. And Jude Pokesahalo, always on the ball, says, is somebody paying her to do so? And Eusebia Jabatis answers, so this woman is a disgrace to society. Shake my head. We're taking your call still, 487-9849. Yes, you can WhatsApp call us on that mobile number, 487-9849. I'm having difficulty concentrating because this guy, Jaquan, I don't know what's it with him and money. I see him rain banknotes all over the counter, showing money and so on. So, I'm wondering whether I should continue talking or reach out my hand if he's offering me something and he just doesn't want to say so. But that wry smile is given, says, hell no way, Jose. You're touching any of that. All right. Okay, I think one of the decorations from the Christmas tree behind me got detached. All right, let's see. Somebody says, well, if you say friendly, it's not Robbie Skeet. Give Robbie Skeet a break. Robbie is a nice guy. I've known him, to be so for a very, very long time, Yeah, man. Robbie, I think, was the first chef in St. Lucia who said that we can utilize the giant African snail, and, he knows how to prepare it and so on. He invited me to come over and to sample it, but I never did, There are people in Barbados who are doing it, people in Trinidad and so on, but I don't think it ever took off. In St. Lucia. Alright, Tekla Sanister says, caller, I support you on that. My husband is also Grenadian. NNP is referred to as the new nasty party. Oh, I didn't know that, I thought it was the new national party, the Keith Mitchell party and so on. But maybe the problem with the NNP, it's unable to grow organically because you have this problem in I find it's primarily in African societies and in those who are African descendants and African, diaspora places and so on, where when people become leaders and presidents and prime ministers, and they're very popular, it's not to say they were never popular, they didn't come to power by coup. Over time, they just don't want to go home. They just don't want to give up power. They just don't want to... they have people working with them, but they just cannot give up and say, okay, this was my trusted deputy and lieutenant over all these years, and I know he gets the hang of it, and I know that I groomed him and trained him so I can pass the baton to him. They just don't want to do that. They want to stay in power, and that's the problem I think the NNP is going to have if it doesn't have it by yet. By now, Keith Mitchell should have been bowing out, By now, Keith Mitchell should have had, but what you find is that I don't know if it's deliberate so that they do not hand over. They end up getting into some kind of antagonistic state of relationship with people they were very close to. Everybody seems to fall away, drop away, and so on. And I don't know. And when you talk to people like that, some wise, so and so in our place tell you, oh, but look at the Queen Elizabeth, she stayed there for so long, and this and that, and people who just don't want to go home. It's causing a lot of problems in Africa, in those countries where... Anyway, we have a call on the line. Good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello? Yeah, hi. Good afternoon. Hello? No, well, listen to us through the phone. Talk to us on the phone and listen to us through the phone. Yeah, but once you get the line, talk to us on the phone. Yeah, Kisakali said, listen. Alright, no, we can't continue with him. Yeah, he's trying to follow the phone and listen to himself and all of that and his cousin. Do we have another call on the line? Hi, caller, good afternoon. Real Issues.
Well, the afternoon is real good.
Why is that?
Well, I'm eating in a bash.
You're putting in a what?
I'm eating in a bash.
Yeah, okay, all right. One thing, you're in love with your bash, eh? I suspect you grow in. I suspect you grow in Calabas in Canada.
Don't let people know my business. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Okay, go ahead, my friend.
Tell me something. Who earned rubies?
Rubis used to be. Wasn't Rubis what was Texaco before, and Sol used to be Shell before, to me that's basically what it is. Rubis I mean, they went from Texaco to some other name and so on, and then eventually Rubis. But Rubis is a French company, from what I understand. But based upon the succession, I would say that you would roughly say what was Texaco changed to some other name, and then eventually it became Rubis, which I understand is French, French owned.
To me, I smell a dead rat.
That before it became Rubis, after Texaco, there was another name. I forget what it was. But eventually it settled on Rubis, came and bought it out. And as far as I know, Rubis is a French company.
Okay. I hope the guy who is crying night and day does not have any shares in there.
You hope what?
I hope the guy who is crying night and day to get back into power does not have shares in there.
These people, you didn't hear a song Robbie sang some years ago? Whatever you see, whatever you think, Michael, have a hand in that. You don't remember that song?
Yes. Okay.
So,
I am convinced that this guy has something in that, because if you were to open your mouth and say in Parliament, what does PJP earn giving the National Trust any discount? What is in there for you? That is the question that was asked.
Okay.
Do you believe? I am very much convinced whatever he brought home, whether it's outvestors, side vestors, underline investors, he got something out of it. That's Heinz the reason he brought that. I mean, he's only there for himself. Monsieur Bouizé parti. Jean sais ici, overseers what go. That's Bama dis autres bagay. Monsieur desperate pouvier. Alan has edged the 3 years he's been in opposition. Each time I look at Alan, I said, but it's like 5 years. Every year he put on 5 years. He has gotten so old. He's older than his father.
Oh boy.
Yes, because he's so hungry to get back into power. The only thing I have to say to him, save his energy. He will need it. He ain't coming back. Have a good day, bro.
All right, thank you very much. What's making Alan look old? The way he leaves his beard, grizzly, they say pull fizzy. The man good, man. The man okay. We have another call on the line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues.
Hello, is that Mr. Sheldon Daniel?
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
Oh, boy, Sheldon, I'm hearing you very low. I just trying to compliment you, but I have a problem now.
All right.
I have to call you back some other time because I'm hearing you very, 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 very low.
Okay, all right. You're the first person to do so.
Hello, keep in touch. Okay, my brother, I'll call back some other time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Lester, who says there was Shell and Esso before. I remember that. To me, there were 3 of them. There was Shell, there was Esso, there was Texaco. Then I think Esso kind of faded away and Shell and Texaco remained. Over time, to me, Shell evolved into Sol, right? And to me, Texaco became another name. I forgot the name. There was Texaco, some other name, and then subsequently there was Rubis came and bought over or established themselves. So Texaco faded into the background. I can remember the intermediate. I'm not saying that this was a direct line of the evolution, but there was Shell, Esso, Texaco, then Esso, was the one to me to drop out of sight. Then there was Shell and Texaco, and after that Texaco became some other name. I just can't recall it now and so on. But it's neither here nor there. Nothing that's let me see. Somebody says, I support this caller. It's time PJP would do something with Guy and Shas. People are getting fed up. Well, PJP can't go and grab the judicial gavel and take over the wig and the robes of judges and, sentence people and become, the monarch of all his surveys and the man who rules everything. He is the head of the executive. He is first among equals in the legislature as the prime minister, as leader of the side that commands the greatest number of those who support the government, ministers and all of that. He can't go and grab, in the kind of the usurpation of power and constitution and so on, to become a judge who convicts people and send them to prison. That really is not on, okay? Tomorrow I want to be able to talk about the CIP, because folks, the people can be telling me they have nothing good to say about CIP. Everything is bad about CIP. And yet CIP is getting great reviews that it is getting. And let us not forget, we had a meeting between the CIP nations of the region, those that have CIP, the Caribbean Development Bank, the US Treasury and so on was represented, and they thrashed out everything about CIP concerns, and St. Lucia's CIP did not come out for any kind of alarm bells or red flags, whatever being raised about it. But here in St. Lucia, we have people working overtime and doing everything they can to tell us that the CIP is corrupt, that it is this, that it is. But anyway, all the people were bragging about RICO lawsuit. It looks like RICO lawsuit became a potato too hot in their mouth. They had to spit it out very quickly, but they are ashamed to see, that they are beaten. Oh, that's about all the time that we have on today's program. Thank you so very much, everyone, for being part of it. And until tomorrow, same time, 12:30 to 2, where we will do this again, all things equal, God willing. Thank you very much, Jaquan. Thanks to those of you who have been participating through the Facebook Live, who have been on the phone lines, and also joining us via YouTube live streaming. Shelton Daniel for now, signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Tuesday, 3rd December 2024 were Double Daily Grand, 7, 8, 15, 18. Big 4, 4, 2, 5, 3. Big 4 Multi-X FP. Pick 2, 7, 8. Pick 2 Multi-X 3X. 1 off, 9 of 4, 8. Lucky 3, 2, 4, 4. Lucky 3 Multi-X 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved